Alec, it's been a long time for you in your UCF career. It's your last game. Just kind of what are your thoughts as you go through practice, preparing for one more? What's kind of going through your mind in a week like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's you go back and you think about your journey up to this point. You kind of reflect even on your days at Pop Warner when you're like a little kid starting your journey in football, and now up to this point, it's reflecting on UCF as a whole and just taking everything for what it is, not taking any time for granted, and just being thankful for the entire process. And I don't know, just getting the ability to spend time with teammates, coaches, and practicing on the practice field. Tomorrow will be the last practice on that practice field, so it's special, and it's a special bowl, and I'm extremely excited that we're getting the opportunity to play in the Gasparilla Bowl.
Alec, do you think that when you take the field on Friday that there'll be some emotions there, obviously, being in your last college game?
Yeah, I think so. I think that you obviously can't let it affect how you're going to play. I think afterwards is really when it's going to kind of set in terms of being the last college football game. Before senior night, you kind of feel that as well. So it's not going to be unfamiliar emotion, I feel like, for a lot of the seniors that are going to be playing their last game because they've experienced it on senior day.
Alec, you mentioned, thinking back about your career and stuff like that. I want to focus a little bit specifically on this being UCF's first year in the Big 12 and your name being on the proverbial plaque heretofore with that. How much is that part of what you're thinking and part of what you cherish in your career here?
Yeah, it's extremely special, and that's something that I'll always tell my friends, family, and my kids about in the future, my grandkids, is talking about this experience when we see UCF going far and beyond even stuff that we're accomplishing now, because I mean this university is set up to just defy everybody's expectations, and coming back to be a part of this team this year specifically was a big motivation coming back, as well as training, getting stronger, and putting more film on to potentially go to the NFL. So those were kind of the two main thought processes when coming back. So it's definitely a big deal.
You talked about your career. You are a bit of a Gasparilla Bowl legend now. This is your third time in it. You posted the highlight of the Florida game. What's it mean to play in this game specifically?
Yeah, I think that it means a lot to a lot of the local kids, especially because a lot of your family gets to come. Also, you get to spend Christmas with your family, which is extremely special as well. And going to play in Ray J is extremely cool. And this year, since we didn't play UCF or USF, this is our opportunity to go play there. And I mean, you think about stuff like 2 years ago, Jake Hescock, one of my close buddies, his last game was playing Florida in the Gasparilla Bowl. So that's like another thing that I've been thinking about a little bit. So the Gasparilla Bowl is really special, and I think that when we get to play in our home away from home, it's a really cool thing.
They kind of expand on that. Obviously someone made a banner on it. It was UCF or a fan. It said Tampa's hometown team too, and UCF's played in that stadium every year since 2018. I think every year you've been at UCF, you've played in that stadium. So do you kind of feel like that is a home away from home? There's going to be a ton of fans there. The allotment's already sold out.
Yeah, I think that it's just sometimes when you go to a neutral site game or you go to an away game, it's kind of unfamiliar. You've never seen the stadium before. You'll go the day before and kind of walk through the stadium to see what it's all like to get adjusted to the environment. But that's a place that all of us have been there multiple times. So it's a place that I feel like we're comfortable and that we're very used to the environment, and we know what to expect when going to a stadium like that.
You guys are going to play Georgia Tech. What do you know about Georgia Tech and their defense, and what stands out to you about that team?
Yeah, I mean they're a solid team. They're disciplined, and I think they're going to be a great challenge. One of the things that I saw like throughout the season was when they beat Miami at the end of the game, which that just shows you that they're resilient. They don't quit. They play till the end of the game, and we got to play them last year, which was really cool. And now both teams will be motivated for this game for sure, since we beat them last year, and now I don't know if they've been in a bowl game for a long time, so this will be a big deal. And then also the Georgia O'Leary ties both ways will be pretty cool as well.
Alec, obviously injury is a part of the game. Any season, 21, there was a lot of injuries that year. You healed up and looked good in that Gasparilla Bowl. You mentioned also the emotion between getting a little bit more time to heal leading up to that bowl game since the last game was played, and then also all that motion. How has practice been going, and do you have that feeling that this team's the healthiest it's been since that final snap of the regular season?
Yeah, our team's definitely healthy. All the guys are moving around fast. we're playing physical in practice, and I think that you can see the intent when we're out there on the practice field, whether we're doing individual drills to try to just work on our technique, or we're in team against each other and pushing each other, keeping each other up, not trying to knock each other down to the ground, but we're playing physical and trying to help each other improve.
Alec, what would it mean to end this season with a victory against Georgia Tech and guarantee a winning season in your first year in the Big 12? What would that mean to you and the team?
Yeah, it would be a huge deal, and Coach Malzahn has talked about always carrying the momentum into the next season. For example, when we beat Florida in the Gasparilla Bowl, it was kind of that momentum we carried into the offseason, and then we went to a conference championship the next year. It's really important to end your season on a win, not only for the seniors, but also to set up the next season as well, and kind of keep those gears turning, kind of.
I know a lot of guys don't like to look back on the season until after the season's over, but when you look, if we get a chance, when you look at this Big 12 season, what stood out to you about it? I mean, what were some of the highlights for you that really kind of maybe in your mind were some things that stood out, I guess, about the Big 12?
And I think that a lot of games this year we've showed that we have a lot of talented players and that we do belong here. There's obviously been some frustrating moments, some games where we kind of gave it up, honestly. And that's kind of the moments where you honestly get to see what your team's made of. And although we'd obviously love to win those games, I think that we saw in those losses that we're tight as a team, and that we're never going to quit regardless of what happens the previous week, and that we're just going to step forward and just play hard regardless of what the circumstances are.
Alec, I know you're a humble guy, but in that same vein, if a UCF fan was asked about a Alec Holler play, of course the Holy Holler would come to the minds of many. Is that also your favorite play in your time here, or is there something else that you'd be like, hey fans, check this one out too, I thought this one was pretty good?
I mean, I guess so. I think that would probably be the one that I'd pull up if someone's like, hey, pull up a clip of your career. But there's a lot of, honestly, like blocks that I really liked. Cincinnati last year when RJ had ran in that touchdown, I had a cutoff block on the backside, and I kind of got the end pinned, and then RJ ran through there. So that would probably be another play that I'd pull up as well. But yeah, I mean, that play's pretty awesome, and that play I'll have on my phone saved, be able to pull up to show somebody whenever they ask.
Obviously, the focus is on winning this game and ending your career. But what's next for Alec Holler? Are you going to give a shot to the NFL? You know, beyond football, do you know kind of what you want to do with your life? Have you kind of thought about what happens next?
Yeah, I mean, I have another year of eligibility, so I will see.
Is that a joke?
No, I actually do.
Oh, good. No. Oh, yeah. Oh, what?
Yeah,
Really?
Medical. I have a medical one. Yeah.
So how many years for that? That'd be your
That would be 7. So
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a joke because.
No, I do though. But yeah, we'll see.
I mean, you might be thinking about pulling the Cougs as well, but how cool has it been to play with your brother if this is it?
Oh, I mean, it's been extremely special to have the opportunity to see Max every single day, and just, I don't know, I feel like your team becomes your family, and when one of your family members is able to be a part of that every single day, and you wake up in the morning and just so many memories that we'll be able to talk about for the rest of our lives, and we're extremely thankful to UCF and everyone involved, all the fans and everyone that's made UCF such a special place that we've been able to spend this time together.
So if you do have 1 year left, I mean, are you giving thought to coming back for another season? Is that a real consideration, or?
I mean, we'll see. I'll talk about it after the bowl game, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a little bit of thought, yes. But.
When you look at, a lot of teams across the country, a lot of players are either opting out of bowl games and stuff like that. It seems like you guys are a pretty cohesive unit. You haven't had a lot of guys, I don't think any of them announced they're going to opt out. What does that say about this team that you guys want to finish out and do it all together as a brother?
Yeah, I think it speaks to the culture that Coach Malzahn has built, and the brotherhood that all the team members, all our teammates have made, that we want to play for each other and just end on the right note and let the record books show what our team is in reality, and show that we want to end it with a winning season and just play one more time with each other, because there's only this team. Although UCF will play every year, this is our last game that we'll ever play together, so it's going to be really special.
Last thing for me, but what was your favorite moment of this season up to this point?
Let me think. There were a lot of good moments. I mean, probably Oklahoma State. I feel like that was a pretty awesome game, and the rainy environment was really cool. and you fall on the ground, you're sliding through you're sliding like 5 yards. I think that the Cure Bowl got to experience that a little bit last week. So I'd probably say Oklahoma State was probably the most fun game that and the best moment afterwards when we were all celebrating in the locker room as brothers.
Thanks, Alec.